Hello everybody, welcome to the Otaku channel. My name is April, also known as Sailor Poof, or known as Poof Poof. This one over here, his name is Dane, aka...
I'm the prototype.
Damn Skippy. And over here, we got Eddie, also known as...
the editor and basically the person who runs this channel. Hi, how are you?
Again, it's like I keep telling him and telling everybody that are going to be involved. It's not just my channel, it is everyone's channel.
I'm just the one that edits and controls what goes on it.
Basically, he's the parent of this one, so there. So, anyways, what we are going to be talking about, RWBY Volume.
So
1.
the subject of today is our favorite scenes.
Our least favorite scenes. And then what our favorite scene is overall throughout the entirety of Volume 1.
Also, when we first found the series, what was our first impressions individually? Because I owe it to you that I found it.
Same here.
So it would make more sense. What was your first impression of the series when you first started watching it?
I just thought it was entertaining. I liked the comedy, I liked the fight scenes, and I don't know, I enjoyed it.
At first, when I say the music video at first, I really thought it was a game at first because of how it looked. But then, once he told me that it was a show, and then the trailers, then the episodes, which was
You start with
I love it.
the 4 trailers first. We all made the mistake of watching chapter 1 first.
Well, none of us really knew that there were trailers existed.
Yeah. We missed out on the trailers.
Because, like I was telling y'all before we started shooting this, the only time anybody really would have known of RWBY at this point was because people religiously followed Rooster Teeth, and I don't know if it was Machinima was still working with them at the time.
No.
But most people, whenever somebody said Rooster Teeth, the first thing they thought of was Red versus Blue. So we wouldn't have a clue.
I don't think I started watching Red vs. Blue when I found RWBY either.
The only time we started watching Red vs. Blue was thanks to our camera guy.
But also,
Hi, neighbor.
and you know what? When I heard about the trailers, I thought it'd be like, you know how in every TV show there's a trailer, but not like this. It seems like more like a prologue.
This was
And
part of like the
back-
officials.
I know, but this was back then. That's what I thought at first. But then, after rewatching it over and over and over and over, because I loved it, prologue.
It created a problem that we can control.
What was the problem?
You have a problem.
It was, most importantly,
You have a problem. There needs to be a rehab.
Me, I rewatched that yellow trailer multiple times. You can ask them, because they were present for that.
Yeah.
Yep. The multiple times we'd have our friends over at our place for the weekend. Walk into the living room. Are you watching that again? Yep. Why? Because it's cool.
And it's
You've seen it 1,000 times.
And also too, it's Yang. You can't
Fair point.
you can't go wrong. Damn it.
We'll cover that in another video, though.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, so
Shoot.
who wants? So now that that little section's out of the way, who wants to start off with what our favorite moments for Volume? I like Volume 1 in the sense that it's a good setup for all the characters that are going to be very heavily present later on in the series. It's not so much a good introduction for Weiss, because Weiss is just not likable all that much in Volume 1.
I hated her when we first started watching. I was like, okay, kill over.
Bitch slap.
No, kill over.
Everyone else though, like Ruby, Yang,
Like,
I love Nora. Nora's fantastic. I like John for the fact that he's the only one that actually didn't earn his spot in the school. He came up, he lied and had fake transcripts in order to get in. I like that kind of.
it shows his cunning side. And
Not necessarily his cunning side, it's just kind of like, that's how determined he was, despite the fact he doesn't have the skills for it.
Mm.
Like, it's almost kind of...
at the end of the day, it was a crappy thing to do, but that just goes to show exactly how determined he was.
Very
yeah, like,
determined.
it shows his determination, but it's, like... I don't know, I really like how... not necessarily complex his situation is, but I just like that it's different from everyone else. Because, you know, you have everyone else who've clearly they've earned their spot, and then you have John, who literally you see him and you're like,
You could
What?
you could pick him out of a crowd and be like, he doesn't belong.
yeah, like you literally you look at him and you're like, what are you doing here?
Eating pumpkin cereal.
Well, that's probably true. That's probably true.
Remember, that cereal is very bad for you.
That's probably true. Yeah. But I don't know. I like that. I like that mug. I'm not 100% sure if I want to try to censor it or not. I'm not 100% sure on whether or not I want to try to censor it.
I can hardly read that. I have to zoom
I'll
in.
give you the opportunity.
Oh God. Anyway,
Better be saying that to me. Thank God. In the famous words of Eddie, I don't care who started it. I'm finishing. I'm finishing it.
music's dope.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
like easily like I think even if you don't like the series, like you have to like the music.
The music was very, very good.
It's awesome.
I still plan on learning the opening.
Which one?
This will be a day I will learn how to play that. I just
Good luck to you. Is that yeah, like I said, I think Volume 1 is for what the show is, it was a good introduction for the characters. Good music. The couple of fights that are in it are well done. I think my absolute favorite moment though is easily Team RWBY and Team Juniper versus the giant Deathstalker in the Nevermore.
Yes.
Alright, in the Nevermore's defense, it was just pissed because RWBY hitched a ride on it.
That is true. Or at least that's part of probably what irked it.
And the giant scorpion was just mad because, you know, well, John grabbed a hold of its tail.
That was still crazy. Vera! It's not the relic!
It's not the relic!
Freaking flings him across the forest.
About a mile away. There's a girl in trouble.
No, it was whenever he did grab it, and then that's when
I'd scream that girlish scream too if I had a freaking 20-foot scorpion staring me in the face. Talk about Aunt Ruthie. Aunt Ruthie?
But nah. That scene definitely my favorite in Volume 1 because it does a lot of things. First thing it does is it establishes what the full teams are going to be able to do. Because already before that, you already know that, you know, Ruby and Weiss are team, Blake and Yang are team, Ren is with Nora, John and Spira, but they also made it clear that the team was going to consist of 4 different people. So that established who was all going to be on a team. It also showed off more for John than Ruby that. Well, actually, especially for John, it showed that while he lacked the combat experience that everyone else had,
he had the leadership.
He had the leadership
Yes.
rolled down, and so that wasn't so surprising when later on, after that fight, Ozpin names John the leader of his team because he showed that in him. He's not a good fighter, but
he's a strategist.
He's a strategist, and he's a good leader. Ruby, it kind of like Ruby only gets like that one little second of I have a plan, and then like we get to see the execution of that plan, and it shows that it worked. But I don't think it was as meaningful as for John.
No, not really.
Because everyone on Team Ruby, it was like anyone who had watched the trailers before that was already well aware that all 4 members of that team are really OP.
Yeah.
And it wasn't much of a shock when Ruby gets named team leader because main character.
And the title.
Yeah, and the title. So, but I mean, overall, it was just that on top of it's an awesome fight.
It was. And if I may add on that, another importance of that fight, though, yes, it did establish what teams were what, between Team Juniper and Team Ruby, but it also linked that connection between all 8 members and created that little circle of friends that, granted, yeah, when they first met each other, they're all pretty much, to each other, they're like, I don't want anything to do with you. And Blake.
Mostly for Weiss.
Mostly for Weiss. Blake too. Blake too for a while.
Blake and old just giving up.
Yeah. She was mean, a cat. But, okay, I'll stand corrected on that. But, you've got the only people off of Team Juniper that know anybody from Team Ruby is John.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Ren, Nora, and Pyrrha, they know who the other 4 girls are, but they've never really.
Not necessarily.
I'm sure they.
I mean, some of them probably, they all probably know who Weiss is.
If you don't know who Weiss is past the first episode,
But, as far as, Yang and Ruby, there was no reason for them to know them at that point.
Fair enough. But yeah, after that fight, it brought everyone into that. It started creating that tight-knit circle of close friends that, granted, yes, they weren't on the same team as each other, but if put in a pinch, they can both work with each other and still be a dominant force. So, probably one of my favorite moments, and it was the way I see it, it was a much needed scene, especially for character development at the time, and as early on in the series as it was the scene when Professor Port had to talk with Weiss. Because as you watch the series, your first impression of Weiss is, bitch!
Mm-hmm.
She's a snobby little princess that got her way. She's you're a stereotypical rich girl. So, she's questioning Ruby as you're not fit to be a leader. I should have did this. I should have did that. I should have been me. And having the scene between her and Professor Port where he was basically telling her, no, you are wrong.
Like, Port was basically, like, I like the scene too. Port's basically like, it's like, Port was very much, I trust Ozpin's judgment in making Ruby the team leader. He's like,
he's never steered me wrong before.
yeah, but because Port was basically like, it's like, you're good, don't get me wrong, but not so much a leader. He's like, not, and just because you're not the leader doesn't mean that you can't be.
It doesn't make you any less important.
Yeah, he's like, doesn't mean you're less important. It just means that you're just not the leader.
He basically shut her up.
He told her what. He told Weiss what she's been needing to hear for years. That she was never told by her father. That is a conversation for later. But at first impression, she always, you can just tell by her character, she always got what she wanted. And she's not used to being told no. So, with Professor Port essentially just telling her, no, you can't have that. You're not, whatever you want to, interpret it as. I view it as detrimental for her character because you start seeing a character shift after that point.
At least towards Ruby.
Like
she,
Ruby
like,
initially,
like her overall character is kind of like
that was a shifting
shifts a
point.
little bit, but like a lot, like the majority of that shift was toward Ruby.
Yes, but as we're gonna get into it in other videos as the series goes on, you can see that was the ultimate like pivoting point.
That woke her up. That woke her up.
I wouldn't say it woke her up. She was very woke. But no, it was just a good development device for her character. And that's why that is probably one of my favorite scenes in the first volume. It may not be the most action, it may not be, the most heartfelt, but it was a scene that was absolutely needed. Instead of, we're going to change your character.
It takes time.
They planted that very well, and I like it.
Okay, fine. I say with my best moment was Ozpin talking to Ruby because, Ruby was starting to second guess herself about being a leader. To me, that's what it seems like. Because, Weiss, like he said, she thinks that Ruby's not fit to be a leader.
Because all Weiss did was cut it down.
And it's like, you're not giving her a chance. She's just starting as a leader, for crying out loud. Not everybody can get her right on the first day, But once she was talking to Austin, and he was lecturing her, and
It was what Ruby needed for a confidence booster, but
yeah.
she needed to be told, you can do it from somebody else besides her sister. Because as she saw it, is of course you're going to tell me you can do it. You're my sister. You're going to be there for me. But having one of the the headmaster of that school will tell her, I believe in you and I chose you for a reason.
And she's the youngest in the group of Team RWBY,
It's because she got moved 2 years ahead.
Because she had a talent.
That was more of which I think there's more to it, but that involves kind of going into later volumes. But in volume 1's context, it was more of she had impressed Ozpin, and that's why he decided to let her into the school.
Yeah.
Because that's where she already wanted to go. She even says so. But it was like the context for volume 1 gives it where Ozpin was just like,
She's got the
you
thing.
got what it needs, so I'm gonna let you in. that's as far as I'm going to touch on that subject because again, the other bit of that conversation leads into later volumes. We'll get to that in due time.
But yes, I love that moment because it's like he's telling her that, hey, you can do this. Do not freak out. You got this. He can see that. He can see something in her, you know, that makes out of the team members is just her that he sees something more. So that's what I love. And it's like it's said on the opening, you know, this will be the day that song. I love the opening, and it describes her a little bit. I love it.
You are the Ruby of our group. You're the smallest.
All I need is a red hood.
What do we dislike about Volume 1?
Characters, scenes, what are we looking for here?
Everything disliked about Volume 1. They can be nitpicks or just straight up just you hate it.
I know you've got a nitpick, but I don't know if it's on this volume or next volume.
It's the one I think
It's the one
it's next volume.
Okay, that's what I figured. I just wanted to make sure.
I have a couple of nitpicks. I mean, I have a couple of nitpicks, but
Volume 1, in Volume 1, I got nothing. No dislike. Okay. Eddie, do you have any dislikes? Volume 1?
you're gonna make me go first.
Of course, because he's the nitty-gritty goat titty.
You said that you're thinking about it.
Well, I was saying, of course, Eddie's got some gripes about it. He can't
Welcome
never
to the
find.
section that the comment section is gonna love me for. I made a mistake when I said love us for it. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with nitpicks first. Some of them are small, some of them are kind of eh. I only have one real big issue, but that one's gonna last. Nitpick number 1 is if you were one of the people that watched the White trailer, like you watched all the trailers before Chapter 1 for Volume 1. When you watch the White trailer, and then when you watch Chapter 2, when you first meet Weiss, that is not how I expected her character to be. I mean, I saw Chapter 1 first, so I was automatically like, oh, okay, that's your character. But like, when I finally went back and saw like the White trailer, I expected Weiss to be kind of like an idol.
Well, some idols, you know, yeah, they can be.
I know, but like, I was expecting her to be kind of like this kind of almost, this kind of idol character that was just trying to get away from that kind of thing, because she was just like, people were only seeing her as that and not her, and that's kind of what if I had seen the White trailer, that's what I would have pegged Weiss as. And I mean, you get Chapter 1, she's a good snob, and it's just, I don't know, like, it's an extremely small nitpick, but it's one that I was just like, I don't know.
But the White trailer was all, like, the White trailer was always open to interpretation. So the way, you know, one person interprets it, there could be a difference from everybody.
There wasn't a whole lot of interpretation for that. It really wasn't. Especially with the Mirror Mirror song.
Very fair point.
I do. Like I said, the comment section's gonna love it.
Every time we show him a new show, rather it's an anime, rather a TV show, whatever.
I'll find something wrong with it.
Before we're even like, hey, we found something you may like, We go to the tool shed, pick out the shovel, and say, here's your weapon. I found something for you.
Nitpick number 2, and this one actually turns into pretty big. It starts off as a little nitpick, but in later volumes, I think it becomes more of an issue for consistency and some other things, and that is the fact that why does Blake have the bow in the black trailer? Especially, and the reason I nitpick this is because the whole reveal that Blake is a Faunus, I know it was supposed to be like this big reveal, but it really wasn't. I think a lot of people had already figured out that there was something up with Blake, and then when the whole issue of Faunus popped up, everyone immediately Faunus. It just kind of made the...
Or if the subject was brought up, she gets very passionate about it.
Yeah, like
or she ran from it.
I feel like that whole she's a Faunus reveal, it didn't really hold any weight, and it just kind of makes the whole black trailer with her wearing the bow in that trailer kind of just silly. Like I said, that's a nitpick in Volume 1. Later on, it becomes more of an issue, but we'll cover that when we get to that point. Or at least I think all of my nitpicks are more for the trailers than they are anything else. And this is actually, I think, why is it that everyone else has their song in their trailers but he doesn't? Like, it plays at the very end of her trailer, but like, why didn't they? Like, I guess they just didn't have the full like "I Burn" song done when he got to that point, and that's why they had to do that. But it just kind of bugs me that Yang doesn't get her song for the entirety of that trailer. If you're worried about something, Josh.
I was
It's
wondering.
gonna go over.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I don't have a problem with like the overall look of the volume. Like, I know there's some people that they see Volume 1 and they're immediately like, why does it look like that? And I'm just kind of like
when I first saw it, because you showed me it and I was like,
yeah, that's kind of
what
like
in the world?
That's what people's main focus is, how they look, how everything looks.
It gets better.
Trust me, it does.
Give them a chance. You won't be disappointed.
like if you're put off by how like Volume 1 looks, keep in mind like to point out the fact that they had the budget of a hamster wheel. Like, they literally had no budget for it. So like
Rooster Teeth is pretty much, if this flops, that's it. We're only going to give you so much.
Yeah, because nobody was expecting it to become like their flagship show. They were expecting it to be like a one-off, and then that was going to be it. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I didn't so much have an issue with the whole bully arc with John. I know a lot of people had an issue with that one. I personally didn't. There's a couple of things I probably would have done differently, but I mean, overall, so now for my big issue. The whole Blake and Weiss argument.
Oh, we're gonna get this.
I'm getting into this.
Oh,
Yeah, you're gonna, yeah. The whole argument is
You're out
so
of the history.
stupid. Granted, I mean, the whole fun storyline is stupid to begin with, but again, that's stuff for later volumes, which I'll hate for. Like, the whole argument is, they try to set it up to where, like, Blake has this kind of moral high ground that's just not there, while trying to make Weiss look racist and she's not.
Oh, I know exactly where you're getting this gripe from, because I remember having this conversation with you months ago.
Yes, it's so
Stupid.
It's the dumbest fucking scene in all of Volume 1. And everybody's like, Weiss is racist. No, she's not. The only racist in that scene is Blake. It's like the autistic screeching.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now. It's a joke, people.
Yeah.
Get it out of a wad. We're not serious. We're serious about people getting butthurt. That's as far as that goes. Relax.
All jokes aside, though, no, like everybody's defense for the whole Weiss is racist in this scene is she refers to Sun as filthy faunus. I'm just like, that's not an argument. Because literally, everything else that Weiss says in this conversation
is valid.
She's shitting on the White Fang.
She's not shitting on the faunus. She's shitting on the White Fang because the White Fang has screwed up her dad's company.
Well, not necessarily the company. That's not what she's necessarily upset about. It's more of the fact that it caused her abuse as a result.
That's right. It caused her the turmoil inside of her house, and it broke the relationship between her and her father. Which honestly, in retrospect, I think that would have really broken her. But that's for later volumes.
Yeah, but I mean, Weiss is not racist in this scene. She makes one snide comment about Sun, but again, the whole rest of this conversation, she's just like, I hate the White Fang. The White Fang is terrorists, killers, and thieves, which they are.
She wasn't wrong.
Which is even the reason that Blake herself admits that's why she left.
Because she wasn't a terrorist, or a killer,
or a thief. She was for a while.
Yeah.
She realized that wasn't her though.
Yeah, she realized I'm doing something wrong here.
Her moral compass started forming north.
But Blake the whole time, and especially, is just continuously defending the White Fang, despite the fact that she knows everything that Weiss is saying is valid, but because it's Weiss saying it, she has an issue.
Well, judging by Weiss's streak,
I mean, yeah,
I can see why Blake got defensive with her, because Weiss was a bitch.
I know, but she was still right.
I know, but if you look at it from kind of Blake's standpoint, this chick's a bitch, and she's spouting off all this crap. She's only saying this out of hate. That's why I'm getting angry. I can understand that aspect to an extent.
If it was somebody else, either Ruby or Yang or Dora,
Did you just say Zora?
Did I say that?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
Nora.
Nora, sorry, y'all.
Nora.
Sorry, I'm losing energy. Sorry. Nora.
Wake up. No, you do raise a good point. Yeah, she would have still got defensive, but in a completely different way. It's because Weiss is so in your face when it comes to her making a point.
That when Weiss brings up the fact that everything the White Fang had done had caused her abuse. Literally, if you watch this scene, Blake has this look on her face, and then she tries to dig in her point even more by saying, well, you didn't give us a choice. Which outs her as a faunus, which makes her bail. And then the next episode, Sun basically says the same shit that Weiss had been saying the previous one, but Blake doesn't jump on Sun when Sun says it.
Well, it may have also been the reason why she didn't jump on him the second time. It was a realization that, oh, wait.
Well,
it's not just her that thinks like this. My own kind even thinks like this.
Well, she was already aware of that. I mean, that was the whole reason she left, is because she felt that way. But she only got uppity at Weiss because, you know...
Weiss.
Weiss.
It's Weiss.
I can see your gripe here. As it's broken down, I can fully see your gripe on this one.
Yeah. And then when they find the white fang stealing all the dust, this chick jar, Blake is just kind of like, damn it. But then the instant Roman shows up, she goes full. She goes in, puts the playthrough, and literally tells him she's gonna off him if he doesn't tell her what's going on.
She knows what's going on. Though.
Like she immediately goes back to that old white fang mentality. And I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, and everybody that watches the scene, and even you and heard some people at Rooster Teeth like referred to Weiss as racist Weiss in Volume 1. I'm just like, y'all don't know what.
That's not racist Weiss.
It's like y'all don't know what racist is. If that's literally what y'all think, I was like, Blake is the racist in this scene, not Weiss. Anyway, that's my complaint. Charge $1 for every death threat in the comments section. Just remember that.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna be rich by the end of this.
You can kiss your channel goodbye. Eddie's tanked it.
Like I said, it's not my channel. It's our channel.
Oh yeah, Sasha?
Anywho's. Now, who is y'all's best game?
We're going simply off of Volume 1.
Volume 1.
Not overall.
Not overall.
Okay. Out of everyone out of Volume 1, just going off of Volume 1, I probably would say RWBY. Which is probably going to be the consensus with most people except you. We know why you.
Same here with me. Whenever I first, Volume 1, loved RWBY.
Well, I mean, she's so small and delicate, but you make her mad, she does. And she chops a tree down with one slice. I mean, come on. That's what...
And also too, I love the part where she sees people like a different weapons. She's like, ah! And stuff like that. And it's so stop it!
Mine is Yang.
Because
I like brawlers. I mean, that's literally that's the only reason I actually kind of like really liked Yang in Volume 1 is because I like brawler characters and it was just cool watching her fight.
alright. I already know what.
Have we covered everything?
Not yet.
Oh no.
Who is our worst character?
Oh, our least favorite character?
Yes, least favorite
in Volume 1?
Yes, in Volume 1. I could say it. Weiss.
Blake. For the reason that I explained earlier.
But with me,
I'd have to say Weiss. And only for the fact that throughout the first volume, she is completely insufferable. She's...
I mean, whenever I was finished with Volume 1, I mean, before whenever I started it and stuff, watching it, and I was like, just give her a chance, Weiss. Like, jeez, give RWBY a chance. Ease up. But then later on, some episodes, eases up.
I didn't mind Weiss that much just because of the fact that it's like, yeah, why she's an insufferable snob. Like
you had to bite your tongue on that one.
I did. Like you see shifts in her, where her character is going to end up going here and there.
And her shifts are nice, but I mean, it still doesn't. The way I see it, it still doesn't outweigh the fact, at least for me, that She's a horse's ass.
I gotta stick with Blake. I mean, for one, that the whole Weiss argument, and two, I don't know, Blake just didn't catch my attention like the other characters did. Like,
Yeah,
I just didn't find like she was forgettable for me.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Because, I mean, yes, granted, she was helpful. She wasn't... Like, when you saw Nora, for example...
Like I said, I love Nora.
Nora's annoying Ren. And bashing the skulls of her enemies in. You saw Pyrrha, her outstanding athletic ability. Jean the Goofball.
Yeah, like
Which that was the comedy.
Like everyone stands out except for Blake.
Blake's just kind of
there.
Bland. I'm an emo cat. Yep.
Please hit the subscribe button. Please don't make my suffering in editing this go in vain. Please hit the subscribe button.
Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay then.
Also, go subscribe to Reggie Night Road AMVs. That's my personal channel. Go subscribe to that.
Yep, his AMVs.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't go and say incredible. They are pretty good. Yeah.
Pretty good, pretty good.
You say your own stuff is pretty good. Don't you say that's kind of good?
My shit's incredible.
There it is.
Yes. Don't click that subscribe button. Jump to his channel.
No, I think I'm good.
Okie dokie. Got the prototype. Got the editor.
Wait, you just came up with a new nickname for Eddie.
Well, that's what he said.
Editor. I like it.
Take care, everybody.
God, I hate
Take care.
myself.
Bye.